What's up, everybody? So, tonight I'm going to talk about my opinion, and I always start stating things as my opinion so everybody doesn't automatically say what I'm saying is fact. But my opinion of what the top three best ways that everybody should know how to defend themselves with. Again, these are my opinion, and this video might generate some controversy, but my videos don't seem to do that because I don't really have enough subscribers yet to worry about that. But hey, I welcome controversy anyway. I'm a controversial guy by nature. Now, first of all, let me start by saying this real quick. I make these videos that try to help educate people out there. Sometimes I rant on when I'm angry about certain things like gun and knife laws, as you guys seen in the past. But, you know, right now, my goal is to help educate people. Hopefully people get some things from me, get some useful information from me that they didn't already know. And if they already knew this, then hey, it was just a cool video you guys enjoyed watching. All right. Now I'm going to list these three quick in my order of importance from least important to most important. And guys, please hear me out. Watch the whole video before you break my chops about the order of these things. All right? Just hear me out. Break my chops later in the comments. All right? First of all, least important, number three. Again, everybody should know these three things. I believe these are the top three most important, but in the order of least importance to greatest importance. Okay? Least important, number three. But everybody should know how to use a firearm and firearm safety. Now, first rule, obey the laws where you live, guys. All right, I'm just gonna say that, and I'm a huge Second Amendment supporter. You guys who know me out there know that I preach the Second Amendment all the time. It's really, really important to me. It's important to everybody has the right to defend themselves. Now, you guys got to remember something. If you're gonna own a firearm, you should know how to use it and use it properly. Don't go out there and spend $2,000 on the super gun and you don't know how to fire it, let alone load it. Probably don't even know which way to point it. Learn, and I'm not trying to insult anybody, but my point being, learn how to use what you got, and only get what you're allowed to own in your state to keep yourself from getting in trouble. All right. Now, you're gonna get a firearm. I don't care what it is, whether it's a shotgun, rifle, crossbow, pistol, pellet gun, Nerf rifle, whatever the case may be. All right. Have somebody teach you how to use it if you don't know how. Go to the range. If you can shoot on your property, you're in one of those states and municipalities where you're allowed to do that. That's awesome. I really envy you guys. Unfortunately, there's no place here where I live in New York where you could possibly do that. But, we have ranges here. I'll say that. Now, it's important. Learn how to use your gun. Learn how to load it. Learn how to cock it. Learn how to fire it. It's a pump action. Learn how to pump it. That sounds really bad, but learn how to pump it. Learn how to shoulder it. Learn the basic firearm safeties. Learn how to shoot it. Learn how to aim. This is important stuff, guys. And have somebody teach you, whether if you have to get yourself, a shooting instructor or ask a friend or a neighbor or a relative that knows how to shoot well, has been firing firearms for lives. Excuse me for stuttering, guys. It's been a long day. But if you have to ask somebody for some help to teach it, don't be bashful. Don't think there's anything bad about doing that. Don't let ego kick in. Let somebody teach you. Learn how to use your bead sights and your iron sights first. Okay, yeah, scopes are great. Red dot sights are great. Laser sights are great. Guess what? Red dot and laser sights, the batteries can die. Scopes, they can break. They break pretty easy if you drop them, believe me. Some are tough, some aren't, but, get my point. Learn the basics. Also, if you're planning on using a firearm to defend your household, don't be stupid. Be smart. Know who's in your house, who comes around your house. Know what kind of ammunition to load in your firearm. All right. Know your habits. Know the habits of people in your house. If you got a teenage son, a 16, 17-year-old son, he's out hanging out till 1 in the morning on the weekend with his friends. Don't assume that at 2:30 in the morning somebody coming in the front door is necessarily breaking your house and do something stupid that you can regret for the rest of your lives. I hear horror stories about that, guys. Use your head. Be smart. All right. Follow what I call the 4-point principle to owning firearms and using firearms. You guys, I'm sure all of you gun owners know these rules, and I've heard this before. I've been taught it's the 4-point principle since I was a kid. Number one, treat every firearm as if it's loaded. I don't care, again, if it's a crossbow, pellet gun, BB gun, rifle, don't matter. Treat it all as loaded. Okay. Number two, never point the firearm at something unless you're trying to shoot what you're pointing it at. Very important. Don't do it. Okay. You don't point a firearm at somebody just to try to scare them off. Always assume that if you're pointing a firearm, that other person is willing to shoot you. You don't point firearms at people to scare them. Bad idea. Only going to get somebody else unnecessarily hurt or you killed. Don't do it. Number 3, don't shoot anything unless you intend to kill it. Don't shoot unless you intend to kill it. Bottom line is, don't pull that trigger unless you're prepared to pull that trigger. All right. And number 4, most important thing to me is, and this goes to anybody that plans on owning a firearm. If you're planning on owning a firearm for self-defense, this number 4 rule is important. Do not pull that trigger unless you're willing and able to deal with the consequences and aftermath of the actions of what's going to happen after you pull that trigger. Really important. It ain't going to be as easy as everybody thinks. So keep that in mind. You know, that's going to be a heavy weight to bear on your shoulders for some people. So remember that. All right. Firearms out of the way. Number 2 is learning how to fight with a knife or other kind of handheld weapon. You know, non-firearm weapon. Knife fighting is extremely important, extremely versatile. The reason I say that is that if you know how to fight with a knife, the same principles, and I've taken quite a few years of Brazilian knife fighting. I'm extremely good. And I'm not to my own home, I'm very good. I've had a great instructor. The same exact principles that apply to a knife or a stick, okay, it's the same principles, are interchangeable. Meaning that if I learn how to stick fight, I can pick up a knife and I can do the same exact movements and you're going to cause some damage. Knife is important to know, getting up close and personal. It's really good skill to have. It's very versatile. And almost everywhere knives are legal of some kind, whether it's a steak knife, whether it's a folder knife, a Bowie knife. Learn how to fight with a knife. Take real lessons from real instructors. Do not watch some YouTube videos. And I'm not, somebody's going to hate me for saying this. It's okay to get the basic ideas from YouTube videos, but don't watch them and practice in your kitchen and think you're an expert is all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying. I'm not knocking anybody anybody teaches on YouTube, because there are some cool people on there that are legitimate that know some really good stuff, and it's good to learn and watch. And I watch a lot of these videos. And sometimes I pick up on things that I didn't realize before, but I'm also trained in martial arts. So for me, I look at it and I know how to utilize that in a way that I'm not going to hurt myself or somebody else. Right? It's knife fighting, stick fighting, very important. You know, because you can apply that to a baseball bat. You could apply it to anything. Also, just so I want to get this out of the way, I didn't include blunt force weapons for a reason, because just picking up an object and hitting somebody with it without any formal training is not always going to work well. I've seen guys, everybody listen, I have seen guys in my own 2 eyes swing baseball bats at people and have another man grab that bat that was bigger than him, take it away from him, and break his knees. Seen it with my own 2 eyes. Wasn't pleasant. So don't automatically assume just grabbing something and swinging at somebody is going to do the job. If you last resort, okay, I get it. Adrenaline kicks in, you got to do what you got to do. But last resort, guys. Don't be your first go-to. All right, number 1, most important thing everybody should know and learn when it comes to defending yourself is good old-fashioned bare knuckles. And what I mean by that is not sorry bare knuckle boxing. Don't think because you got into a street fight a couple times as a kid that you're gonna, oh, I got this and I'll take on anybody. No, that's not necessarily true. And I'm not saying that doesn't. We're not going to talk about toughness and street cred. That's just ridiculousness to me. I'm just talking about generalizing that last line of defense is always going to be your hands. Your gun might break, might jam up. You might lose your knife. Somebody might take it away from you. Guess what? All you got left is your hands, your feet, your knees, your elbows. This is what you got to work with. Take some martial arts classes. I personally am fluent in jiu-jitsu, judo, aikido, and karate. I've taken those for a long time, along with Brazilian knife fighting, or anis, however you want to call it. And I love it. I think that everybody should learn it. And I think you should learn multiple disciplines. My 8-year-old daughter, she's turning 9 soon. Depending on what day, how well my brain's working, I'm either going to say 8 or 9, but she's turning 9. She's in Shaolin Kempo. And I also teach her some stuff that I know that I feel is appropriate for her age, that she won't go overboard and hurt her or hurt somebody else. I mean, she's a very good kid, very well behaved, and I don't really have to worry about that. But still, I just want to make sure. You never want to teach a child too much that could, that they could hurt somebody or somebody out there, hurt themselves or somebody else unnecessarily. Um, Learn multiple disciplines if you can, and learn from a reputable school, reputable instructor. Don't go to Tiger Showman's, jumping off of walls because you see it in commercials and think you're going to be Jackie Chan and that's practical. No, acrobatics and martial art gymnastics are not practical. It's in movies and things of that nature. So I'm sure somebody's going to argue that point with me, but that's really not practical. And the reason I say learn multiple disciplines, guys, is for a real good reason. You might be trained in jujitsu. Now, jujitsu is very up close and personal. So you're trained in jujitsu, and I'm not talking Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about regular jiu-jitsu. And you got to deal with an assailant that is, let's say, you're my height, which is short. I'm not going to say my height because I do not feel like the joke's coming in right now, but I'm short. But you want to know what martial art you're using against the opponent you're going to be using against. You want to be versed in case he has something up his sleeve you didn't know, is my point. You're my height, you're a short guy, right? And you're going up against a 6 foot plus guy with at least 30 to 50 pounds more than you. You want to go in with him jiu-jitsu. This opponent, you might have a problem. I'm really good, and I know different things, so I wouldn't be afraid of the situation. But if you just know one martial art, and this guy knows, let's say he knows Greco-Roman wrestling, say he wrestled in high school and he was all county or whatever. You go into jiu-jitsu and you try to take on a guy Greco-Roman. If he's good, he feels that movement coming, he's going to drop you to the ground, and you're going to be screwed, right? You never know what anybody else has under the sleeve, especially with MMA now. Everybody wants to be a UFC fighter. All right, learn how to fight formally, guys. Don't watch UFC and practice air movements in the air, shadow boxing, and think you're Anderson Silva, GSP or something. Learn how to fight formally. Don't think you're the toughest guy in the world. There's always somebody tougher than you out there. I always say that. My grandfather always used to tell me. He used to say, Matt, there's a lot of dead tough guys in the cemetery. Don't be one of them. It's advice to live by. And of course, self-defense is for that. Self-defense. Defense, guys. Defense is not designed for you to go out there and just start hurting people. Nothing sets me off more. I'm going to try not to get angry right now. Woosah. Nothing sets me off more than people who take martial arts just for the intent of hurting people. There's a lot of them out there. Bad news, bad idea, bad attitude. You take it to know how to defend yourself as a last resort. Don't go out trying to hurt people. Don't look for problems. The number one thing is don't look for problems. If they find you, they find you, but don't go find them. And I'm going to give you guys a quick true story before I end this video here. A few years back, there was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor. And this guy came over from Brazil, studied under the Gracies, 9th degree. Literally, his martial arts studio was about 10 minutes from my house. Good guy, well-known guy, very talented instructor. He got into a road rage incident right outside the parking lot of his martial arts studio. One guy cut the other guy off. To this day, nobody knows the truth. If he cut the other guy off, the other guy cut him off coming out of the parking lot. The instructor slammed on the hood of the guy's car. The guy got out of the car. They got into an altercation. The guy put the instructor, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor, in the hospital. Now, if you guys know who the Gracies are, they know their stuff. You train with them. You train with some of the best in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because it's not a martial art for me. I just don't like it. I prefer standing Jiu-Jitsu. I don't like laying on the ground on my back. I just don't like it. So we're not going to have that argument. But now this is a guy that knew how to fight. By all means, he's one of the best I've ever known in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu around here. The man can't even teach anymore. Can barely walk. Now, this happened years ago. He's still alive. Not doing too well, but he's still alive. He had to retire, close his school. The guy that beat him up had no real formal training. But he didn't know how to deal with a guy unless he was on the ground. So, with that being said, that's my point about learning multiple disciplines. Just a thought. It's really, really important, guys, that you're going to practice right. Don't make the mistake he did in thinking that because he's that skilled like that he could just take on the world. It's a sad story. He was a good man, just made a poor choice one night. So just a little food for thought. And, if you're going to take martial arts, I'm going to end this quick. I'm going on 15 minutes here. Nobody wants to hear me 15 minutes. take martial arts for what you intend to use it for. Learn the things that will work for you for your size. If you're a really big guy, learn what works for you against facing another guy your own size. If you're a little guy, you're going to learn how to know how to defend yourself against the bigger guy, right? Because you're going to go, generally speaking, you're going toe to toe with the person your own size and weight. You're going to have a lot better chance than if you're 5'7" and you're 130 pounds going up against a guy that's 6'4", 220 pounds. You're going to have a hard time unless you really, really know what you're doing. So keep that in mind. Not picking on the little guy because I'm a freaking short dude myself, but I have a lot of training. So I hope this is didn't ramble on too long. Hope you guys made it to this point of the video, and everybody out there, stay safe. Hope you learned something from this. You got something of importance out of this, and it helps you out a little bit. And I love all you guys who watch my videos. You guys want to argue any points with me? You want to tell me I'm wrong? Tell me I'm right? Tell me you want to kick my ass? Whatever it might be, hey, put it down in the comments below, guys. I love all of it. So far I get nothing but positive stuff from people, and I really love it. And bottom of my heart, guys, I really put this out there to help people out, and I love everybody that watches my videos, and I hope it helps you. God bless you. Have a good night.